It's the Rise and Shine Talk Show with Lady C, where we uplift, educate, and motivate. Let's talk about life and faith, ministry, community, and so much more. I am Lady C, your host. Family, be sure to follow, like, and share Rise and Shine with Lady C on Facebook and Instagram. And the Rise and Shine Talk Show is available on your favorite podcast platform. Thank you for joining me every week right here on 1580thepraise.com. This episode is dedicated to my dad, Benjamin Armstead, affectionately called Benny. Dad, I thank you for every sacrifice that you made for me. As a young man, you accepted and embraced fatherhood. Thank you for your presence, love, and provision. Thank you for the stability you provided to me and my siblings so we could thrive in our lives. So I love you, Dad. In the studio today, we have a dynamic advocate who is doing amazing things in our community. Oh, I'm just so excited. So he hails from my hometown as well. We are both from Canton, Ohio. Our families have known each other for years. His sister, Kelly High, was besties with my sister, Kelly Armstead, and I remember him as a young child. Tory High is a powerful speaker and author of The High-Powered Dad, Becoming a Superhero for Your Family. In addition, he is a fitness professional and diversity, equity, and inclusion advocate. Through speaking engagements, workshops, and social media, his mission is to foster a culture of better fatherhood by building fathers into high-powered dads. Welcome to the Rise and Shine, Tory.
Wow, thank you so much.
I am so glad to have you here. This is so exciting.
I'm very, very excited.
Oh my goodness. And it's also a blessing to have someone, especially from my hometown. So
for sure, yeah. Canton,
oh my goodness, yes. So Tory, let's get into it. What is your story that led you to encouraging other men to be better fathers?
Wow. Well, thank you for having me, first of all.
Absolutely.
I mean, seriously, this is quite an honor.
Yes.
I'm so proud of the work you're doing, and I'm so happy to be involved here. So,
yes.
Thank you for, hearing me out.
Absolutely.
Fatherhood has always been super important to me.
Yeah.
I think, growing up, you kind of plan on that. Mm-hmm. And as I got older, I mean, I didn't become a father until I was almost 36 years old.
Okay.
So my wife and I welcomed twins at that time, and that was kind of scary.
Yeah.
That wasn't expected. But I felt like I was ready, and I really wanted to embrace it. I've always enjoyed writing.
Okay.
And so my initial idea was to write some letters to my children,
Oh, powerful.
From the time they were really small.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, my father passed away in 2006.
Mm-hmm.
So he never got a chance to see me, embrace my own fatherhood.
Yeah.
But knowing that, hearing my mother say things like, the way you are with the children reminds me so much of your dad with you guys and things like that. That's wonderful. But I really wish that I had something tangible from him, especially during those times. And so I didn't want to do that. You got to face your own mortality and realize, hey, anything could happen. Mm-hmm. And so that was my line of thinking at the time.
Gotcha.
And I wanted to find other things to read, vlogs, blogs,
Gotcha.
All of that about the experience of becoming a father.
Yeah.
And I realized there just was not a lot of that material out there.
Yeah.
Plenty of things for mothers, just not a lot for dads. And so being the guy that enjoys writing and expressing my thoughts and feelings, I just decided to write a book.
That is awesome.
Just to kind of validate that experience, kind of build some community, that sort of thing. And that book afforded me some opportunities for speaking engagements. Wonderful. And connecting with other people that do that sort of work. And so it's just been really exciting, since then, watching my own fatherhood grow, connecting with other fathers, and just us giving each other permission to express our feelings and to really tap into that. And my goal is for fatherhood to be as important or as celebrated as motherhood is.
Absolutely.
Right? So mothers easily connect. You see a mother out there with a child, and other mothers just come flocking. And what I've learned is that as fathers, we also admire other fathers. We just don't really express it as much.
Okay.
We don't lean into the community vibe there.
Yeah.
So just in the spirit of that, it's like the second you give a dad permission,
I like that,
and you say, this is how I feel, you know, then now you've got a conversation. You know, like guys are starting to open up. So this kind of, you know, speaks to masculinity also in a way, and how we define that.
That's good.
We've been taught, and, you know, just conditioned to push it down, to just, you know, try to be the strong, silent type. Not really lean into our feelings and that sort of stuff. So all of this just kind of works so well together in the way that community is built.
Wow. So Tory, tell us, what is, you know, currently, what is the climate or the experience of a Black father?
You know, I that's a great question. I love the fact that I'm seeing more. I mean, I live in this world, so this is the work I do, and so I'm constantly seeing and reading things, and it really seems like the mission is being accomplished. You know, fathers are stepping up.
Yes.
Fathers are being more vocal. And I think that, you know, there's been a lot of data out there that kind of dispels some of these myths about the Black father, and how involved and engaged in fatherhood we are.
Yes.
And, you know, I think that there's this kind of false narrative that relationships that may not work out immediately just means by default that the fatherhood part has fallen off.
That's good.
And the data has been suggesting and showing and telling us that that's not the case. Black fathers are involved. Black fathers are, and so I think the more that we spotlight and really you know, dispel that notion, it again, that keep coming back to that word permission, but it gives us permission to really, you know, step forward and say, yeah, we are here. You know, we are proud of what we do. I think so many of us are proud of our individual fatherhood.
Yes.
And now it's just about community.
Yes.
You know, and it's like
the collective fatherhood experience.
Right. Exactly. So, you know, just figuring out ways to do that. How do we navigate that? How do we celebrate ourselves? We're so busy with the providing and protecting piece. And we are proud of ourselves and what we do in our homes and for our children. But how do we, you know, celebrate ourselves without not coming off to, you know, whatever that would be that we're trying to avoid, right? Like, you know, look at me.
Right,
like, hey, I'm just doing it. I don't necessarily need a bunch of credit and praise.
Right.
You know, some of the guys that I've talked to, they say something like, you know, they've heard people come up to them in public and say, wow, you were such a great dad.
Wow.
Right. And so mixed reactions with that. Sometimes you know, you get dads that go a little bit offended.
Absolutely.
You know, like, I'm just doing what I'm supposed to do.
Absolutely.
Like, do you go up and congratulate mothers?
Right.
You know, and it's like, so it's kind of, and I get that because I've felt that way too myself, you know, sometimes, but this is how we push back against that false narrative.
Yes.
You know, we kind of sometimes just have to grin and bear it and just say, thank you. I know it's coming from a good place. And, you know, not take it the wrong way.
Absolutely.
And just keep doing what we do.
Yes. And you're so right. Family, I was doing some research, and a lot of the statistics, oh my gosh, Tory, it was depressing. It was just horrible, just the negative research. And of course, a lot of the research, you know, has been debated and things like that. So again, there is a perspective that many young fathers are absent from their children's lives. But like Tory said, research shows that Black fathers, in fact, are more involved in their children's care than other races. Drop the mic. Right. I was like, what? Yes, you know, it's just, you know, for example, I think about advertising. So I had saw some marketing, for example, on a box of diapers or on a commercial, and they just show a single mother.
Right.
Whereas other races, you know, the whole family is shown, and it's just like there's just this omission that Black fathers are not present, are not active, but that is contrary. Black fathers are active and engaged in the day-to-day care of their children's lives, even if they don't reside in the same home.
Absolutely, which is even tougher to do. I mean, you know, if you're right there, you know, you can kind of just chalk that up and say, yeah, we spend time together all the time. We're always here. But if you are not in the home, I mean, you gotta recruit technology. You have to make the special effort. You have to, all of those things. And so for anyone to do that, to take those extra steps and to, go out of your way, so to speak, to make sure that you're connecting with your children, that's definitely, it's worth celebrating for
Absolutely.
sure. And it is amazing to learn that, that has been a false narrative all along. And whether we buy into the stereotype or not, well, obviously we haven't bought into that stereotype ourselves.
Yes.
And, and as you mentioned, the marketing, these are the subtle things that happen, and these things that could easily give us excuses to not lean into it, right? Because nobody's expecting us to. Yeah. So it's pretty much okay if we don't. Yeah. And same thing with the way the courts tend to work. They very much favor mothers. In the work that we do, this is not competitive. Parenting is not competitive. Yeah. It's not moms versus dads. Yeah. It's not dad versus dad. Yeah. If I see another dad out with their children, I'm not saying, hey, talk about me and my kids. Like, I'm gonna tell that kid, your dad is the best ever.
That's awesome.
I mean, it's about it's about the children, right? It's about the children winning. We're always modeling what that is. So if we talk to our fathers, our parents, they want us to be better at everything than they were. Yes. Our careers, our relationships, all of that stuff, including parenting, including fatherhood, right? So, if in the spirit of that, we should be better than they were. And we want to position ourselves to have our children be better than we are. So we got to demonstrate that. And whether we know it or not, we're always modeling. We're always showing them not just what manhood is or masculinity. We're showing them what parenting is. We're showing them what positive co-parenting is in some situations. Yes. Some people really believe that if we're not together, we have to be fighting. So it's very rare that you see situations that are healthy. Yes. Or at least the ones that are spotlighted in the news and media and reality shows and all of that stuff. But like I said, we're always modeling. So it really is important for us to do that. And I'm glad that you said that. I'm glad that you said that stat. Yes. That's something to be very, very proud of.
Absolutely. So Tory, life can happen. Life is real. Relationships come, relationships go. So let's talk about if a relationship ends with the child's mother. How does a father work through these emotions to maintain positive and healthy relationships with their children? And I'm going to say this, and even when the mother is unhealthy, because we have a lot of, I'm a woman, we have a lot of unhealthy, toxic women, unfortunately, who still need to grow, mature, and walk in their healing. And they will use that child as a pawn to a man who really is a good man. It's a lot of good brothers out here, a lot of good fathers, but they are prevented from showing up and being an active father. So talk to us about that.
Well, yeah, in my work, we see that pretty often. And it's so unfortunate that the children are caught in the middle. Yeah. I often use the analogy of tug of war. You have all this energy going in two different directions, and we're just trying to win.
That's a good way to put that, a tug of war.
Right. And it's going back and forth. But what we don't realize is that the children are the rope. They're the ones that are suffering all of that tension in the middle when we're looking past them at the other person on the other side and just trying to win. Yeah. And that's so devastating. Again, going back to the modeling, like what are we showing our sons about how to treat ladies? What are we showing our daughters about what to expect and accept from men? And so in terms of that, to answer your question, the short answer, whatever it takes, right?
That's good, just whatever it takes.
Connect with your children. Just a lot of it comes down to communication. In a lot of the group work that we do with Father Up, one of our sessions is on forgiveness. And so we talk about forgiving in a lot of different scenarios. So it might be forgiving our fathers might be forgiving ourselves for mistakes that we've made with our parenting. It could be forgiving our co-parents.
That's good.
Whether that is asked for or not, realizing what putting ourselves in her shoes. I love this activity that we do in our groups. From the co-parent's perspective.
Okay.
What was her fatherhood situation like?
That's good.
What was it like? What was her fatherhood experience? And I'll tell the guys, a lot of times consider this scenario. This may or may not be you, but consider this scenario when you've got a little girl whose father was not around.
Yeah.
She's looking at her mother as everything. She's the hero. She's the one that held it down. She's the one that did everything. And then, she's modeling motherhood. She grows up. She wants to be, now she's a mother.
Right.
She's her experience of what motherhood is how she sees herself.
Yeah.
Right. So now here's the mom, and I'm talking to dad at this point. So here you come. In her ideal world, you may or may not even be in the picture. She's planning on being that same hero. I'm going to be just like my mom. And, and so there could be this tension, this pushback, that sort of thing. And it may even be subconscious, I got this. Yeah. I'm going to do whatever I can to push you away because I'm trying to recreate. I want to be the hero that my mother was.
Wow.
And so if you don't have the same idea and ideals on what fatherhood is, what parenting is supposed to look like, then you're going to have friction from the start.
Wow, from the start.
So I think that whole communication piece about, hey, what is this going to look like? What is our co-parenting situation going to look like? And then we go further into how to finesse those conversations.
Gotcha.
And then with our case management, we also, lead people to resources, mediation, counseling, attorneys if necessary.
Awesome.
So all of that, I think, is just, it really comes down to communication.
Gotcha. So you were talking a little bit about the Father Up program. So let's move into that. So you facilitate this much needed program in the community. Family, you must check it out. So talk to us. What is the Father Up program? I like to call it a movement. What's the Father Up movement? I'm
so glad that you said that, because movement, we bounce around with different words. We've been trying to avoid using the word program.
Yeah.
It just with the connotation of programming. What we are is, we are a movement. This is a collective. I'm a facilitator. My children are relatively young. We take fathers who have children ages 24 and under.
Okay.
So I'm a facilitator. I'm not a parenting expert. I'm not a teacher. I don't say that I am.
Gotcha.
I don't try to come off like I am.
Yeah.
I facilitate conversations.
That's good.
And so we talk about concepts that apply no matter what level of fatherhood you're at, how seasoned you are as a father, how present you are as a father. All of that. This is just about getting better, and this is about fathers connecting. And so I'm a facilitator with the Father Up movement. And we get our guys in, we do our sessions, we do 12 sessions. Okay. There's a progression, and all of these concepts connect.
Gotcha.
And there's a lot of feel good stuff. I mean, this is like I said, permission comes back to that word. We give our fathers permission to be themselves, to open up. I like to call it kind of a barbershop type of atmosphere where, all ideas are welcome. We don't judge or shame or, anything like that. But we are doing this for fatherhood. There's moments where we, next thing you know, we're talking about sports or current events and things like that. But there's always a way to tie that right back to fatherhood. Absolutely. And I love that.
That's awesome. So this movement is for men who have children that are under 24 years and under. Okay. And so some may be, now is there an age limit for the fathers who can participate, or any age? So they could be a 20-year-old father or a 50-year-old father.
Correct.
Oh,
correct.
Awesome.
Yes.
Awesome.
And to go all the way with it, we celebrate father figures.
Got it.
So if you consider yourself a father figure, we do not and cannot discriminate.
Okay.
So, there could be an adoptive situation. There could be a grandparent who's taken their grandchild in and raising them as their son. The criteria is very fluid.
Anyone in the community. Okay, so you work with issues as far as custody and child support issues, listening, co-parenting, financial literacy, healthy masculinity. You even have a session regarding domestic violence.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's all really very, very interesting stuff when guys start opening up, start talking about their experiences, and it's so funny because guys come from all walks of life, have all different experiences, but there's a common thread through all of it. It's loving our children. It's loving our children and caring about them and wanting to do better and be better for them.
That's awesome. So what does the day look like of the session? Like how many hours? What are the incentives? What does that look like to be a part of the Father Up movement?
Love it. So our sessions we have 12 sessions.
Okay.
We have 8 of them are kind of core curriculum type of things. So the concepts that we have there, we meet 3 times a week for 2 hours. So 24 hours worth of sessions. So we have the regular 8 sessions. We have 2 more sessions that are focused on healthy masculinity as it relates to domestic violence. And then the other 2 sessions are financial literacy.
Okay.
And at that point, we actually have a specialist come in who is, the specialist for a reason.
Gotcha.
These aren't just concepts. She's got all kinds of ideas and workbooks and, budgeting and all of that stuff. Very hands-on with guys with that. So, so we go 3 times a week. We have an AM cohort.
Okay.
Right now, our AM cohort goes 10 o'clock to 12 o'clock via Zoom, which is great. So guys can join us wherever they are.
Awesome.
And we have guys that are doing all kinds of things while they're joining us. Our PM cohort is 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Also Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays. And we do those live. We right now our cohorts, we've had our last few at the North YMCA.
Okay.
On the north side of Columbus. If you are there with us live, you will get a meal. We bring food in, so our dads will eat with us.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll eat, and it's good food too. And then you asked about incentives.
Yes.
Right now we have you can get up to $300 worth of gift cards. We can't do cash. That kind of speaks to our grant and things like that. But we can do gift cards. So we do it through Giftogram. So just for doing the enrollment piece and coming to the first session, you get a $25 gift card.
Okay.
And then every 3 sessions, so after session 3, 6, and 9, you will get another $50 gift card. And at the end, after session 12 and completing the exit surveys, etc., you'll get the larger one. It's $125. So you get $300 worth of gift cards. It's great. What I hear a lot of times though is guys say, man, I don't even care about the gift cards. Like I'm just really enjoying, the program.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's honestly like, so I should also say the other side of it is our case management.
Okay.
So that's a huge incentive also. Not just tangible, but it's actually helping guys to clear some of these hurdles and remove some of these barriers that are stopping them from that. So it's a lot of the things that you spoke to, custody, child support type stuff.
Okay.
We link guys to actual resources.
Wow.
Our guys get free suits.
Really?
Yes. So,
goodness.
we partnered with a couple of agencies around town. So, so guys can get, a full suit. And I'm talking the jacket, the pants, the shirt, the tie, the shoes, socks, everything. And, as we all know, when you look good, you feel good. When you feel good, you do good. And, some of these guys are going to job interviews and things like that. Even when we have our graduation celebrations, guys show up in the suits they got. And it is it's so great to be able to just expand in the community and make these connections and people that have resources and things to give, and they're looking for people to give it to. I mean, if anyone knows how grants work, you get a certain amount of resources and you have a certain amount of time to give them away or to deliver those, and if you don't, when you go to re-up, you're not going to get as much the next time. So we're looking for fathers to to bestow all of these resources on. And, so it's just a great feeling to be able to do that. And you see guys, just responding to it. And we see guys, I mean, just yesterday, I had a guy that called me and he was looking for a job in something specific. It was very specific. He was looking to start something. Hey, do you know anybody?
Right.
A lot of times I'm sorry, I don't. But this time I knew a guy who had just finished another cohort. So these guys were in 2 different cohorts.
Wow.
I called them, connected with each other, and this guy's now working for that guy.
That is awesome.
Making money today, which is, I mean, like this was yesterday. He's working with him today. So I'm so honored to just be able to facilitate these kinds of conversations in our groups, be able to facilitate these kinds of relationships, these ongoing things that are just going to enhance these guys' lives and ultimately benefit their children.
Absolutely. Family, this is good conversation. I'm telling you, this is something that you can tap in. Now, do you have to be, I know you said that some people can join in virtually. So do you have to be a resident of Franklin County, Ohio to participate?
Yes, Franklin County. Yes, this is for Franklin County. We are housed inside of Action for Children.
Okay.
We do have some other fatherhood programs, the Father Factor program, which does touch some neighboring counties.
Okay.
And it's similar work. If please look on the website and just see like more of our programs. So we are, Action for Children. The Father Up program is fatherupohio.org.
Awesome.
So we try to touch as many people as we can.
Wow. Okay, so Tory, now here's a question. How can the general community, how can we support the Father Up program? What is it that we could do? Some of our churches, businesses, entrepreneurs, how could we support this program, this movement? I
love it. Thank you for that. Just keep spreading the word.
Yeah.
Father Up, Father Up. I mean, when I go and do talks, I'm like, hey, anybody heard of Father Up? And the more I do it, the more hands I see go up. And I love that. So we want to get to a point where you almost feel like you've missed something if you haven't gone through our cohorts.
Yeah.
If you're a father in Columbus or in Franklin County and you have not been through the Father Up program, there's that word again. But through our movement, through our sessions, then something is wrong. So we've seen guys that run into each other out in public. They're wearing a shirt, they're wearing a hat, and they're like, oh, I did that too. I was at Denny's one time by myself.
Wow.
And I had my hat on and I took it off. I was sitting at the counter and I set it down. And the young lady behind the counter was like, "Oh yeah, my co-parent just finished that program."
Wow!
And I was like, "Oh, that's great." And I was having one of those days where that was probably the best thing someone could have said to me.
That is awesome.
And that just made me feel really good, And it was a guy that I knew. I'm like, "Oh yeah, he just graduated. He just did a great job. How's he doing? Oh, he's working. He's all these things." And it's like, that's what this is all about. So really, just spreading the word. Making. We all want Father Up to be a household name, something that's just familiar. This isn't something that you have to do. Just so we know, like all of our guys are here voluntarily.
That's awesome.
Nobody's forced in through probation or anything like that. We have all kinds of dads.
All voluntary.
Wow. All voluntary. So so guys want to be there. We finished our sessions and everything. We print out that certificate, and guys are proud of it. Proud of it. That it's like, hey, I accomplished something with my brothers, my new brothers.
Absolutely.
And just to see that pride in Father Up, but also the pride in each other. In fatherhood in general, it's just like it really, really warms my heart. Seriously.
That is awesome. Pastors and first ladies, you hear my voice. Listen, if you need someone to come to your ministry, your church, if you're having a panel, a workshop, seminar, or conference, you need to consider Mr. Tory High with the Father Up movement. Allow him to come in and encourage the men, the young men in your congregation. If you know of a agency or a business, have him come in, tap in to this amazing resource. Oh my goodness. Tory, where can we find you on social media and how can we contact you?
Well, I'm mostly on Facebook. I'm kind of getting up there in age, so I don't really do the. I was gonna name a few. More like TikTok. I'm not on TikTok.
I hear you.
I'm barely on Instagram, but mostly Facebook. It's just my name. My page is wide open, so it's Tory High. And you can go to fatherupohio.org, and any of the inquiry stuff that you put in there, it comes right to us. I'll see it. And tory.high@actionforchildren.org is my email.
As we wrap up, family, if you know someone, or if that person is you and you're listening and you're a father and you're trying to navigate the child support system in a tough co-parenting situation, trying to establish a stable income and career, or just feeling alone in your fatherhood and parenting journey, please contact Tory High at the Action for Children Father Up movement. Tory is here to help you navigate barriers, unlock opportunities throughout each unique stage of your fatherhood journey. Thank you so much for joining me today, Tory. I am your host, Lady C. Remember, with God, all things are possible. You have purpose, and it's time to rise and shine. Join me weekly here on 1580thepraise.com.